If you've ever typed, "How much house can I afford in Southern California?" into a calculator online and then quietly whispered, "There's no way that number is right," you're probably onto something. In this video, we're going to talk about how much house you can actually afford in Southern California. Not just what a lender might approve you for on paper, but what will let you buy a home and still live your life without feeling like your mortgage is stalking you. We'll break down the difference between bank approval and real life comfort, what actually goes into your monthly payment here, and the sneaky Southern California costs people forget to include, the trade-off between different areas and counties, and a simple exercise you can use to figure out your own safe range. By the end, you'll have way more clarity than "the internet said I can afford 1.2 million, so I guess?" Hi there, I'm Rebecca, and you're watching Living in Southern California. I'm a SoCal realtor and licensed professional clinical counselor. I help buyers all over LA County, the Inland Empire, and Orange County, and of course the surrounding areas, make decisions that work on paper and for their nervous systems. If you want more videos on buying, selling, and relocating in Southern California with a little bit of psychology and a lot of honesty, make sure you hit subscribe. All right, let's talk about your favorite topic and everyone's least favorite bill, your future house payment. Let's start with why the calculators are not telling the whole truth. Online affordability calculators are like that friend who hypes you up a little too much. "Can you afford this? Of course you can, you're a star." Meanwhile, you're like, "Ooh, I would still like to afford groceries, you know." Most calculators look at your income, some estimate of your debts, a guess at taxes and insurance, and a very tiny little percentage like, you can spend X percent of your income on housing. But here's what they usually don't know: how much you actually spend on food, gas, and life, your student loans, childcare, or family responsibilities, your comfort level with risk and savings, the reality of Southern California extras like HOAs, Mello-Roos, longer commutes, and utilities. So the first big mindset shift is this: how much will a bank approve me for? Which is not the same as how much house will actually make me feel sane and I can live in it. We'll take a look at both numbers. One is the ceiling and one is the comfort zone. Let's take a look at the three numbers you really need. I like to think of affordability in Southern California in terms of these three different numbers: the bank max, which is what a lender might approve you for, the comfort payment, what feels good in your real life, and the stretch but okay number, the "we can do this if it's in the right house" zone. Let's break those down. 1. The bank max. This is the number you'll typically hear from a lender. Based on your income, debts, and credits, you are approved to X amount of dollars for purchase price with a monthly payment of about Y dollars. This is helpful because it tells us what's possible within standard guidelines, but it's not a moral commandment. No one is saying you have to go right up to the edge. Think of the bank max as, here's your absolute top of the roller coaster. We could go that high, but do we want to? Number 2, the comfort payment. I care about just as much, sometimes even more. This is the payment where you pay your mortgage, pay your other normal bills, save a little, and still have a life, and your nervous system is not screaming all month. This is usually lower than your bank max. To get a feel for this, ask yourself, what am I paying in housing right now? Does that feel easy, tight, or unbearable? If my payment went up by $500, how would that feel? What if it went up by $1,000? Where is the line where I start to feel clenched? It doesn't have to be exact, but I promise you already have a gut sense of your comfort zone. Number 3, the stretch but okay number. This is the payment where you say, okay, this is a little higher than I ideally wanted, but for the right house in the right area, we could do this and still be okay. Not fun and carefree vacation mode, but also not, I literally never go to brunch or see another movie again. In Southern California, this number matters because sometimes the difference between a house that really fits your life and one that makes you compromise everything might be a few $100s a month. We want to know where that upper limit is for you so we can be strategic. So let's go into what actually goes into your payment in SoCal. So let's zoom in on what your monthly housing cost actually includes here. We're not just talking about the mortgage, we're talking about the principal, the interest, the property taxes, and homeowners insurance. Plus, things like HOA, Mello-Roos, special assessments as well, and mortgage insurance if applicable, and utilities. So let's walk through each of these pieces. The principal and interest is the part that most calculators do show, the part based on your loan and the amount and interest rate as well. It's a big chunk, but it's not the whole story. We don't need to go full math teacher in this video, but just know as your price goes up, your loan goes up. This part of your payment also goes up. Pretty straightforward. Property taxes, with the SoCal version, they're usually based on the purchase price plus any local assessments. So in Southern California, this often looks like a base tax rate plus extras like bonds and assessments, or in some areas, Mello-Roos as well. And so the important thing for you to know is 2 homes at the same price can have very different total property tax bills. So we always look at the actual tax info on each property, not just assume. For homeowners insurance, this depends on things like location, the size and type of the home, your coverage level, the fire risk in certain areas, which is very real in Southern California. In some parts of SoCal, insurance has become more expensive or more picky because of this fire risk. It's just one more reason we talk about real quotes, not just ballpark guesses. So taking a look at HOA, Mello-Roos, and special assessments, this is where Southern California likes to surprise people. If you're buying in a condo community, a townhome community, a master plan, or newer development, you might have a monthly HOA fee, and in addition to that, Mello-Roos or special assessments baked into your taxes. So your monthly housing costs might look like your mortgage and taxes, insurance, HOA, and Mello-Roos all together. That's why when we talk about how much can you afford, we're not just talking about price. We're talking about the full monthly picture. Let's dive into the hidden Southern California factors, especially those that really affect affordability but don't show up in a basic calculator. The first one is commute and transportation. If your new house means driving much further to work, or jumping from a 20-minute commute to an hour each way, or more gas, tolls, or car wear and tear, that's money and energy. Gas, miles, maintenance, time, those are all real costs. Sometimes a house that's cheaper in one area actually costs more when you factor in the longer commute and your quality of life. The second one is utilities and climate. Different parts of Southern California feel very different weather-wise. An inland home in the summer might mean a much higher AC bill compared to something closer to the coast. A larger home with higher ceilings typically costs more to heat and cool. So when you're picturing how much house, also picture how much AC, how much heating, how much water for this yard. The third thing, maintenance and age of home. A brand new home and a 40-year-old home can both be great choices, but they'll have very different maintenance profiles. A newer home will have fewer big repairs early on and more predictability. An older home, however, may have more character, maybe better location, but potentially more things to update or fix. When you're deciding on affordability, you want to leave some room for regular maintenance. The roof someday, the water heater eventually, appliances, the little things that pop up. Buying at the very top of your range with zero room for maintenance is a fast track to feeling trapped. Let's talk about the fourth one, lifestyle and joy money. This is my therapist side talking here. If your house payment is so high that you never do anything fun, you're going to resent that house. You're not just budgeting for a mortgage, you're budgeting for groceries, occasional travel or staycations, hobbies, date nights, kids' activities, nails, hair, skincare, coffee, all the things that make you feel like a human. If your future budget has no category for joy, that house is too expensive. So let's jump into the next section. More house versus shorter commute. So different counties and areas feel like completely different worlds when it comes to SoCal, including price, commute, and lifestyle. I'm not going to rattle off a bunch of exact numbers because markets change constantly. But in general, some areas closer to major job centers or the coast tend to have higher prices and sometimes smaller homes or smaller lots. Areas that are built further out, like parts of the Inland Empire, can often have more house for the money, but with a longer commute for some buyers. So you might be looking at a choice like smaller townhome or older home closer in, or short commute versus more walkability, or Comparing this to larger new construction home further out with bigger space, newer everything, more time in the car. For some people, the extra square footage, the newer build, and community amenities are absolutely worth the long drive. For others, an extra 45 minutes in the car every day would drain them emotionally and physically to the point where the bigger house doesn't feel like a win. This is why how much can I afford isn't just one number. It's tied to where you're willing to live and how you want your daily life to feel. When we work together, we're not just looking at, here's your budget, good luck. We're looking at this budget, here's what you get in Area A. At this budget, here's what you get in Area B. Here's what you get in Area C. And then we ask, do you want more house and more commute? Smaller house and less commute? There is no right or wrong, but there is a right fit for you. So let's jump to the simple exercise to find your number. You can pause this video and actually do this later as well. Grab a notebook and make 3 columns. Survival, that's the bare minimum, no extra fluff. Comfortable, needs met, some fun, some savings. And stretched, you can do it, but you feel it. Under each column, list housing, transportation, food, utilities, debt payments, savings, fun and lifestyle, and then ask, what housing payment would keep me in survival? What housing payment would still feel comfortable? What housing payment would push me into stretched? Now, compare those housing numbers to what your lender says you're approved for. If your approved amount lands you in survival or worse, we probably want to adjust. Ideally, you're shopping somewhere between comfortable and stretched but okay, based on your goals and timeline. And remember that county and area piece we just talked about. You might choose a slightly higher payment in an area with a shorter commute and lower gas and drive costs, or a slightly lower payment further out, accepting a longer commute, but getting more house and newer everything. Either way, we're making that trade-off intentionally, not by accident. Let me give you 2 quick generic examples so you can see how this plays out. So for scenario A, we have approved at the top but miserable. The buyer gets pre-approved for a very high number, they're flattered, and they shop at the top of that range in a central area with a high price point. They buy at the max. After closing, their true budget looks like mortgage is huge, saving has barely anything, and fun is essentially zero. Any little surprise leads to panic. On paper, they can afford the house, but in real life, they're constantly stressed. Scenario B, more house, farther out, but thoughtfully chosen. So another buyer is also approved for a high number, but we talk honestly about their real spending, their job situation, their tolerance for commute time, their need for space and newer systems. They decide they're okay with a longer commute to get more house and a newer build in a different county. But they do not shop at their absolute max. They pick a price point where the commute is doable, the payment still allows savings and some joy, the bigger home actually supports their lifestyle. Same region, different priorities, both valid because they chose intentionally instead of accidentally. So how this shapes your search in SoCal? Once you know your bank max, your comfort payment, your stretch but okay range, and your general preferences on commute versus more house, we use that to shape your actual home search. That might mean focusing on slightly smaller homes in a better location, choosing a newer home a bit further out with lower maintenance, avoiding certain areas where taxes plus HOA plus Mello-Roos stack too high, being realistic about what your budget gets you in each county or area. Look, the point is we're not throwing random numbers at random houses. We're building a strategy around your reality. So let's recap the key ideas here. Lender approval is your ceiling, not necessarily your target. You need 3 numbers: your bank max, comfort payment, and stretch but okay number. Your real housing costs in Southern California includes mortgage, taxes, insurance, HOA, Mello-Roos, plus utilities and maintenance. Commute, climate, age of home, and lifestyle all affect what's truly affordable. Different counties and areas offer different trade-offs between price, size, and commute. There's no one-size-fits-all or a right choice. If there's no room in the budget for joy, the house is probably too expensive for you right now. A slightly lower purchase price that gives you breathing room can feel a lot better than we maxed out because we could. If you're trying to figure out how much house you can really afford in Southern California, not just on paper, but in a way that won't wreck your mental health, this is exactly the kind of thing I walk through with my buyers. We look at your numbers, your life, your timeline, and what different price points actually mean for you in LA County, the Inland Empire, Orange County, and nearby areas. You do not have to guess alone or trust a random online calculator. Whether you're moving in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months, book a strategy session with me so we can get started on planning your real estate journey. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment below. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.